Listen here, you chuds. You think you have won? No! Gaming will be woke, and gaming will be ugly, because a real world is like that or something like. I don't know, the woke arguments are complete brain rot, honestly. But in any case, they're not letting up, even though they don't have no arguments, no points to make, no logical consistency, no nothing. But they will demand things for some stupid reason, and they think that we care. That's the funniest part. They honestly think that people care about their opinions. That is probably the most wildest part about all of this, is the fact that they unironically think that we care about their stupid opinions. We literally discard them on a regular basis.
Indian AA games have been under attack by the Access media for years at this point, and it's only gotten worse since Claire Obscure Expedition 33's sweep at the Game Awards. And
True.
Lords of the Fallen 2 is also a title that has been heavily targeted because the developers are actually listening to their customer base. And now the gamer has put out this mega hit piece about how it's cementing itself as a game for all the wrong people. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, Lords of the
Like the
Fallen has been
video.
a target for the Access media for a very long time. They are extremely upset that this studio is listening to their customers and that they actually are making changes based on feedback and that they are not promoting the woke agenda.
It's such a wild time to live in. Oh, you're a studio that listens to the player feedback? Why are you doing that? It's almost, well, what are they paying you money or something? That is so insane. But this is unironically real, by the way, if you do not know. There have been multiple instances through the years where legacy media, the garbage that no one listens, cares about, and instantaneously assumes is lying to you. Well, at least if you're a real one. They have done this so many times. Oh, game says it's gonna listen to players. That's stupid. You should do the exact opposite. You see the Witcher movie franchise? Yeah, that's really successful, is it not? Going woke was such a blessing. It made so much money. It canceled itself.
The people over at The Gamer and at several other outlets are very angry that they have removed body type A and B, they have returned to normalcy and added male and female, and that the sequel actually features very attractive women. Paul Tassi had just gone on this
Hell
hate
yeah.
campaign. The Gamer is on it now too, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime
Paul Tassi is a plus sized woman.
soon, but that means we still have to defend them as much as possible. So, Jade King says Lords of the Fallen 2 is already cementing itself as a game for all the wrong people. And in these activists' minds, if you are not with them, if you are not promoting the ideology that they support, if you are not pushing their agenda, you are against them, you are an enemy. And
True.
they love to call us things like bigots and NZs and fascists because, in their twisted mind, it is more acceptable if something bad happens to you, if you're canceled because you said something they don't like. Oh, well, it's okay because they're a bigot. Oh, something actually happens to you in the real world.
Yeah. But it happens to the people you don't like. It's good. But when you do the same and you're on the other side, then nothing happens because it's acceptable. It is just hypocrisy on top of more hypocrisy. It is insane.
Well, it's okay because they were a fascist. It is disgusting, but this is the mindset that they push. And now Jade King is saying the Lords of the Fallen 2 publisher CI Games made it blatant back in January that it will steer clear of making its games political or including any social elements or agendas in its future titles. It claims featuring such things runs a high risk of pushing audiences away, and it would rather focus on serious games featuring serious stuff like sexy, scantily clad women.
Hell
Whatever you want,
yeah.
I guess, just make sure to wash your hands when you're done. This deliberately ignores diverse and inclusive successes like Baldur's Gate 3, which went on to sell 20 million copies, and cherry picks high profile cases like Concord to justify the belief that inclusion of queer characters and unconventionally attractive women makes a title fail.
What do you mean unconventionally attractive? There is nothing attractive about anything in Concord in general. You can't name it unconventional attractiveness. That doesn't exist.
Modern games are apparently in such a terrible state not because of greedy executives, ballooning budgets, and difficult to sustain development cycles, but because the female characters aren't hot enough, which is insane to say. First of
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. 100% true.
all, they are not deliberately ignoring the successes that games like Baldur's Gate 3 have had, but we are talking about more failures than successes in the terms of pushing DEI agendas. How many other games that push this so heavily and blatantly have done as good as Baldur's Gate 3? They really only have one or two examples, whereas we are seeing tons of modern AAA games release and be failures of epic proportions. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, went on to lose $250 million. Concord lost $300 to $500 million. Do you really think Marathon is going to make money? Probably not.
Oh my god, Marathon is such a stupid failure. It looks sterile, it looks boring, it looks fake. It looks like HR is at every point sitting there next to developers and saying, Make it more ambiguous, you racist. It is insane.
Do you really think that Highguard is going to make money? Probably not.
Oh god, I already forgot High God exists. Yeah, that looks like slop.
When you modernize, you lose money. And sure, we could sit here all day and go back to back, tit for tat, but are they going to have a conversation about it? No, they just want to sit here and also do what they are complaining about. They are saying, oh, you're cherry picking examples of games that have been failures. But Jade King, you are also.
What do you mean cherry picking examples of games that have been failures? Like, show me a Vogue game that hasn't failed. That's the thing. When these people talk about, when Vogue people talk about wokeness, their intention. Either there's two options. Either they're intentionally misleading and saying, oh, that they don't understand what wokeness is, or they're stupid enough to actually not understand. It's hard to tell whichever they use. But, I mean, everything that we call woke pretty much fails. Maybe one time out of 100 it barely succeeds. Ghost of Yota is the closest thing to a woke game being successful that we have seen so far. That's it.
Cherry picking examples of games that have been successes. They say, though, that the people behind CI games are like intentionally ignoring greedy executives ballooning budgets. They're not. Sure, they are sitting here talking about things like attractive women. They are sitting here talking about really making their games appeal to a larger audience, but it's not like they're completely ignoring these other factors. I'm sure if you actually tried to sit down and have conversations with these people, you would understand their point of view. I actually did an interview back at the beginning of 2025 with Marek Tominsky, the CI Game CEO. It was a phenomenal discussion. He's great to chat with, very easy guy to talk with, and he answered all of my questions very directly, very honestly, and I'm sure he would do the same exact thing for Jade King, but someone like Jade King won't sit down and have that conversation. None of these people do. I've invited.
Of course not. They are not only will they not do it, they will intentionally ignore it because the reality is once one part of the aisle wants to have these conversations, wants to have all of these things, and the other one runs away from it. That's pretty much it. These people will never have conversations with you because they understand that they cannot win those conversations. They're just gonna look insane. Best case scenario, they look like Hassan tier.
People like Kim Belair on my channel before to have discussions, and do you ever see them happening? No, because these people want to live in their echo chamber, and if you are not with them and you're not going to promote them and push their ideology, they say, well, you are against them, and they view you as an enemy. And apparently attractive women is very bothersome to someone like Jade King. Apparently actually listening to your customer base is very upsetting to someone like Jade King, when in my opinion it only makes a game 10 times easier to support. We are seeing a company reject an agenda. We are seeing a company acknowledge normalcy. And that is a very positive thing, at least in my and clearly many other people's opinions. In this article, they go on to accuse him of stirring up fake outrage, saying it stinks of fake outrage, trying desperately to sell a 7 out of 10 Souls like by playing up the idea that the modern gaming landscape has somehow robbed straight male audiences of traditional experiences they now have a responsibility to take back. A similar thing occurred with Shift Up Stellar Blade, which was
And again, this is not even what anyone's claiming. No one is claiming that they are robbed straight male audience of traditional gaming experience. We still have that. We just have gaming experiences that are infused with things that no one wants. Just for the sake of being virtue signal, political pandering, and messaging. Okay? No one's claiming that everything is just gonna be anti-white male at this point. No one's even claiming that. Again, they're just taking something that no one has. This is constantly happening. They just can't stop. Because, well, this is the best they can honestly do. They're gonna take something that no one is saying, and then they're gonna be like, they actually care about this a lot. And no one says that. No one believes what they say. No one no one has ever even complained about these things. Because they have nothing. They can't engage in the conversation. They can't engage with the points. They have no counterpoints. So they have to lie. And, well, it's... One thing is lying, but the other one is lying about something that they are claiming is your experience. I don't know about you, but for me it's extremely easy to hear some stupid sentence like that and be like, yeah, that's not my experience. And I don't know anyone whose experience would be like that, actually. Interesting.
held up as a symbol of resistance in the modern culture war. The game wasn't afraid to put an incredibly gorgeous heroine front and center whose chest, butt, and overall figure existed as objects for players to obsess over and customize.
Damn right.
Newsflash, she is an object because she's not real. There was a belief among certain audiences that video game critics and progressive gamers were looking to tear Stellar Blade down, and they can sit here all they want and say,
I mean, they literally attempted that. Yes, they called you a bad person if you supported it.
That wasn't happening, but it was. We saw multiple hit pieces from access media outlets saying, oh, this game turns her into a doll and over sexualizes her, and it's terrible because of that. I mean, we literally saw IGN come out and apologize to Shift Up for describing Eve as a sexualized doll to be used by someone who has never seen a woman. So you're saying that this didn't actually happen?
Based on a real woman.
Jade King. That is complete and utter BS. You are turning on your blinders because you have a job and you are desperate to keep it, but really you're just making yourself look ridiculous and you're making yourself look like a liar. And Merrick Tominsky has posted a lot over the past couple of weeks really about the state of the video game industry. In my opinion, it's always good to hear from CEOs, but he said, we've talked directly to you this year to shape Lords of the Fallen 2, but according to The Gamer, you're the wrong type of gamer. The article ignores almost everything we've shown in the last two trailers: epic bosses, lightning fast challenging combat, seamless day one co-op, endless build variety, and deep tactical options, which is so funny that they are writing an article saying, oh, boo-hoo, the CEO doesn't want to focus on politics in his game, when, on the flip side, they are sitting here ignoring what actually makes the game good and what makes it a full-blown experience in order to push politics.
Well, again, of course, what else are they gonna do? Actually interact with the facts of the matter? This is why everyone's calling the media liars in general. Because of situations like this. Most people have already encountered many times when these people just straight up lie to you without regret, and when you point it out or you see it pointed out, they will just point a finger at you and say, no, you are lying about our opinions, you are lying about what we did. And then you can literally just point to it, what they did and what they said, that you are correct, and they're gonna be like, no. They will just ignore. I see this on Twitter, honestly, a lot. It's just a group of people posting things that are blatant lies and kind of like hopes that someone will buy it. And hopes that someone will just believe them. In any case, that was over dark 10 out of 10. Bye.